as you all know, or you should know by now, Derrick Rose NBA, which that sucks. You know what I'm saying? I thought he still had a little bit more in him to keep going for a tad bit more, but hey, at some point he had to hang him up. I wish he would have had one more run for the Chicago Bulls, at least. Just to put some respect. Derrick Rose was the number one pick in his draft. He came to Chicago, where Chicago was desperately, and I do mean desperately, looking for some sort of hope, some sort of energy into their organization. And lo and behold, Derrick Rose falls into their lap. Derrick Rose comes into Chicago during his rookie season and was part of arguably, shout out to Don 2K, arguably the greatest playoff series of all time between them and the Boston Celtics. Fantastic series in general. Just up and down, everything that happened in that series was fantastic. I mean, there's nothing to say about that. But then Derrick Rose continued to develop. Not only did he continue to develop, he continued getting better. And then at the age of only 22 years old, went ahead and won his very first and only MVP. Fantastic. And with him becoming the youngest MVP, he just we was expecting some greatness out of it. I mean, series against the Pacers, against the Bulls, against the 76ers, against that Celtics team, man, you could see that he was becoming that guy. You know, he was going to be a threat no matter what. And then injuries took him away from us. I think injuries took away what he potentially would have been in his prime. But even so, at least despite all the injuries he had, at least we was able to still see Derrick Rose continue to perform. He continued to play. He continued to get better. He was going to reach that MVP level status, but at least we was able to still see Derrick Rose's career. It's not like what everybody liked to see, which was, oh man, he would have done X, Y, Z. Now, granted, I don't think they would ever beat the Miami Heat, but that Cleveland team, especially in 2015, I think that's a whole different argument. That's a whole different topic to talk about. But I think Derrick Rose should have had at least one finals appearance under his belt. He should have had at least one. He's gonna go down as one of the most explosive point guards of all time. What's like I said, one of the Chicago's best, right next to Jordan. I think Chicago fans will put Derrick Rose sitting right next to Jordan as their guy, and it just sucks that we didn't get to see more from him. It sucks that too much injuries. Even after that, he still has some injuries here and there, and then he goes to New York, and even post injuries, 18-4-4. That's still a really good season from Derrick Rose. I think he could have sneaked in a couple. Quite honestly, I think if he had a couple more seasons to where, let's say, he played 65 to 70 games and he was to continue to average like 18, I think there would have been a nice fan base. I think a lot of the fans would have granted him a couple more All Star appearances. In my personal opinion, I think that would have definitely happened, but couldn't happen because of injuries. More injuries just took him away from us and stuff like that. It goes around the league. He was just Derrick Rose. You know what I'm saying? The fact that still many players, even post injuries, they knew that despite those injuries, he still had that burst to him. He was still a threat, and I love the fact that they still treat him as a threat no matter what was going on in his career. They're like, yeah, he's still a threat, so don't get it twisted. He can still take you off the bounce. He can still do X, Y, Z. He can still do that. And they had to still put respect on that man's name. That was awesome. That's always awesome to see. Of course, putting up that 50-point game in the Timberwolves after all the stuff that he went through, man, that was wonderful to see. Very emotional game. I'm pretty sure a lot of Chicago fans were dropping a couple of tears just to see that happening. It was just amazing all around for Derrick Rose in general. You know what I'm saying? Definitely one of the biggest what ifs in NBA history, especially at the point guard position. I don't think there's anybody bigger than him at the point guard position. So Man, shout out to Derrick Rose, man. For career, my personal opinion. I know it's not the career that you completely wanted, but hey, he was able to get to the league. He was able to play professional basketball. He was able to go against some of the very best that the league has to offer. He was able to help push in the that generation of explosive point guards. Him and Russ, look at my personal opinion. Both of those guys help push in the explosive point guards and attack the basket, be relinquished, do everything you need to do to try to win at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Derrick Rose. Shout out to the Chicago Bulls in general. Just in general. But hey, that's it for me. This is Rose. You guys hit the like, comment, and subscribe, and I catch you guys